What's going on, gang? Baltmatrix here, and today we are taking a look at TFC Toys Poseidon Bigbite. This guy's freaking awesome. I don't even know where else to begin other than just saying TFC Toys have really hit it out of the park with this guy, and I am now officially on board with the entire set. The coloring is very, very accurate to the original G1 figure. This coelacanth with arms and legs just works really well for me. One word of warning though, right off the bat, is that the teeth, all of the teeth, and there are a lot of teeth in here, are all incredibly sharp. They are not to the point where you could cut yourself just by touching them, but they are needle sharp enough that if you really push down, you're going to draw blood. So just be aware of that. In fish mode, or fish monster mode, he does have some posability. Arms move up and down, and you can fold them in and out like he's going to hug something. Mouth opens and closes. You do have a little bit more posability in the mouth than it looks because you can kind of reverse the one hinge here a little bit and open his mouth really wide. Teeth in the very front are movable, so you can move them all the way out like that. Legs, or rear legs I should say, are on ratchets, so you've got some good ratcheting there. Just a series of hinges here on the knees. Toes are articulated, and then the tail is multi-articulated, so you can get it pointing in different directions. The overall detailing on the figure is quite good. Oops, I've got this little fin backwards. You've got the scales here on the side, then you've got the bony structure of the fish mouth up here on the skull of the fish. Just the overall detailing on the figure and molding is quite nice. A quick look at the box shows you that TFC Toys does understand where this figure is coming from, and that it is definitely based on the Generation 1 line figures. You will get a giant sword and the full combined mode in the final set. There are going to be 6 members, however, I only see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here. My guess is the 6th member is actually going to be part of the backpack, forming the guns, maybe? Don't know yet. Something I did want to quickly mention is that this set does not come with the stand here that you would need to have him in weapon mode or in foot mode. The figure only comes with the hand that can be used in, well, arm mode. So I can't show you guys the weapon or the leg yet. And I'm not going to show you the arm in this review simply because, well, that's not really all that interesting. It's kind of a halfway combination, or a halfway point between the robot and the fish mode. Bigbite's transformation is really neat, but actually very similar to his original G1 transformation. To start off with, we'll come to the front hands and fold up the claws, come to the head and flip up the front teeth as far as they will go, and then push down the center 4 teeth on the bottom jaw. Come to the back of the figure and disconnect the clear pink, I don't know what this is called on a fish, the clear pink part on the back of the top of the fish. Come to the legs and unpeg the legs from the side of the figure. These will form the arms in robot mode. Come to the middle back of the fish mode, just beneath where the pink thing is connected, and pop these 2 panels up like that so that we can then disconnect the entire top part. Then reach underneath and push these 2 panels out like that. And then you could just kind of wiggle apart the entire front of the fish like that and pull the head forward as far as you can. Next, we'll take the red arms and unpeg them and just kind of flip them forward a little bit. That will enable us to then reach underneath and fold these panels out like so. That opens up the legs to flip out. But before we do that, take the head of the fish mode and open it up as far as it'll go, and then push it back along the body. Not all the way though, we'll do that later. Then we flip the head around to reveal the legs and feet. Very similar to the G1 figure, as I said. Now that we've got the feet flipped out, we're first going to take these sections behind the front toes and fold it down so that this little tab is pointing to the bottom of the feet. And then this section that's connected behind it will actually fold up and peg onto that peg hole like that. Once we've got the heels formed, we then take the jaws that were the lower part of the jaws, and fold them inside these open panels. And then these open panels will fold in to the inside of the legs and peg into place. We'll do that on both legs. Next, we'll take the arms and swing them back so they peg into these little tiny peg holes that are just on the back of the legs, like so. And we've done the hard part of the transformation. There are the legs. Now for the torso. First thing we're going to do is grab the entire torso and push it down towards the crotch. Come to the back of the figure, and this big pink thing back here, we're actually going to split it in half. It's not easy to do, but get your fingernail in there and it will go. Then turn it 180 degrees, collapse it and back, and peg it into these big screw holes on the back of the figure, like this. And just get everything situated. Well, there we go. Then grab the entire rear tail of the figure and unpeg it and fold it down. That will then allow us to get these shoulders put in place, open up the chest, which doesn't have the head in it. This is actually where the leg component is going to go. Grab the tail, and flip the head up. Getting the head out is actually a little bit difficult. Pull the panel open as far as it'll go, and then you have to get your fingers in here and just kind of flip the head up using the very tips of your fingers, and then it will then close it back up and reveal the fists from inside of the Beast Mode's legs. Bigbite's robot mode is a fantastic homage to the original Scalar figure, and when I was a kid, this is kind of what I thought Scalar was supposed to look like. Head sculpt is quite good and smirky. The overall aesthetic of the figure in robot mode is excellent. He even manages to have a good backpack. And by good, I mean everything stays out of the way, it doesn't flop around, and it just kind of reminds you of the alt mode, but in a good way. The figure also possesses incredibly good light piping. Look at that glow! A quick note on the accessories. Bigbite comes with the hand that he can use when in, arm mode. 2 swords, which will combine with other swords that are coming with the different figures to form the giant Poseidon sword. They are lavender as well. And 2 guns. They can be wielded in this mode as, like little cannons, or, and preferably, they open up and then bigger barrels flip out. So you can have these much bigger guns. I like these better. Unfortunately, Bigbite only seems to be able to wield 2 of the weapons at once, and I haven't been able to find a decent way to store the other weapons on his body. He doesn't seem to possess any real spot to store them. The only thing I've been able to find is by laying the gun on the peg here on the back, but that's very, very precarious, and it just falls off very easily. And if you're thinking about, well, what about these tabs back here on the back of his shoulders? Nope, that doesn't work either. I've tried. You can have him wield the sword and the guns at the same time, but it's precarious at best. The swords aren't really in his hand, they're just kind of sitting there very, very tenderly. So, yeah, probably just going to have to pick one or the other and just leave the other one in the box or behind him on the shelf. I have found a few minor issues with the figure, though. The ratchets in the hips aren't that strong. They are very, very clicky, though, but there's not a lot of force needed to move it or move the legs around. The other thing that I found that really does kind of bother me are the in and out movements of the shoulders. So I'm not sure what to do about that. It obviously needs a little bit of lube, but I'm going to have to research on how to fix that. Overall, TFC Bigbite is freaking fantastic. If you are a fan of third-party figures, you really should pick this guy up, and I am definitely getting the rest of the Poseidon set from TFC Toys. Bigbite is doing it for me in a way that the not Lyle Kaiser figures that TFC Toys is releasing hasn't. I'm still buying the Lyle Kaiser figures, but I have something planned for when they're all out. If you've been on the fence for considering TFC Toys Poseidon, I would recommend picking it up. Bigbite is really, really good. He looks fantastic in all the modes. The transformation is fun, not aggravating at all, and it's definitely worth having in your collection. So gang, as always, I'm Baltmatrix, asking you to like, comment, and subscribe, and I will catch you next time.